What can you do when someone is gaslighting you? My name's Ruth Ann. I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm an expert in relationships and issues of narcissism. And in this video, I'm going to share with you a few strategies that you might find helpful if you're being gaslit. So gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse in which an abusive person denies reality or lies or twists or minimizes things in order to make the victim question themselves, doubt their memory, maybe even doubt their sanity. It comes from a 1944 movie called Gaslight. In this movie, a husband makes gaslight flicker and turn it on and off, and then denies it's happening in order to make his wife question her sanity. He wants to convince her that she's mentally ill so that he can steal from her. Gaslighting is not having a disagreement. It's not having a different recollection of events. Gaslighting is really fundamentally about denying reality. And people who are masters at gaslighting can make it sound nice. It can even make it sound supportive, like, I think you may have misremembered. Let me help you. Common examples of gaslighting might be saying things like, I never agreed to be home by 7 p.m. Or if you bring up an issue, they say, oh, come on, it's not that bad. You don't really feel that way. I didn't do that when they clearly did. Or you raise something and they say, oh, you must be hungry or hot. You don't really feel that way. You don't really think that, as if you don't know your own mind. And if you're someone who experiences mental illness like depression or anxiety or physical illnesses in which you might be in pain or uncomfortable, or maybe you have a form of neurodivergence like autism or ADHD, someone who's good at gaslighting will turn that against you. Well, I think you only think that because you're depressed. Or is your anxiety playing up again? Or is your ADHD making you disorganized and forgetful? Or, oh, I don't think it's that bad. I think you're misinterpreting this situation because you're in pain or you're uncomfortable. Should we take you to the doctor? Shall I get you some more pain medication? They will make you feel like you are the person who is the problem, especially if you're raising an issue that has something to do with something they've done wrong. Really, what they're doing is deflecting attention away from them and making you feel like you're the problem. And when you're in that situation, it's really confusing. The word I use to describe it, and I love the most, is discombobulated. It is discombobulating to be on the receiving end of gaslighting. And what it also does is it gives the narcissistic person more power and control. Because when you feel that confused, then you start to question and doubt yourself, and that can make you more dependent on the person who's gaslighting you. You may find yourself looking to them to provide you with the support that they've convinced you that you need. And it can undermine your self-esteem and your confidence in your ability to think and make good decisions for yourself. Now, when we feel vulnerable, we may respond in different ways. So some people, when they feel vulnerable, they might go quiet, they might get apologetic, they might give in, and they might really start to doubt and question themselves, which really gives a lot of power to the person who's doing the gaslighting. And that can be really undermining and erode someone's sense of their self-esteem and sense of their autonomy. Other people, when they're vulnerable, get defensive and angry, and they might fight back. Now, on the surface, that might seem like the better option, right? You get angry, you fight back, you stand your corner. But no, because do you know what someone who's really good at gaslighting does when you fight back? Oh, you're getting angry now. You don't have any control of your emotions. Look at you. And then what happens? Well, very often you feel guilty and ashamed for getting angry about something that you're very reasonably angry about. So here are 5 strategies you might like to implement if you're being gaslit. Number 1, don't engage. I'm not advocating that you go quiet and shut down and agree and accommodate them, but I'm also not advocating that you go in the defensive and argue with them. The gaslighting person has no interest in actual reality. All they're interested in doing is deflecting off of them and putting it onto you. And there is no way to engage with someone who's behaving like that. So don't engage. Don't get defensive. Don't defend yourself. You've done nothing wrong, therefore you have nothing to defend. If you need to, state calmly and clearly what it is you think or what it is that you want to say. So, for example, you say, actually, you did say you would be home at 7 o'clock. Let's leave it there. Leave it and go. Leave the conversation and disengage. Do not join the never-ending dance of placating them, pleasing them, and accommodating them. But likewise, don't join the never-ending dance of arguing with them and defending yourself. Number 2, if you have records, give yourself the chance to affirm reality. Go and look at that text they sent you when they said they'd be home at 7 p.m. Or if you think there's something they're likely to lie about later, write it down at the time. That gives you a chance to affirm what's really going on and confirm for yourself that your memory and your recollection can be trusted. Number 3, get some distance and get some space. There is no way to think clearly when you're having a discussion with someone who's gaslighting, because someone who's gaslighting is lying. What they'll say will change every 5 minutes. They will flip-flop all over the place, and that is disorientating for any ordinary person. You need to give yourself space. If you're able to get away from them, get away from them. And that space can look different. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's going and spending some time by yourself. Maybe it's leaving the environment that they're in, if that's possible. Or maybe it's just going and just finding a place where you can be on your own. Number 4, validate your reality and have other people validate your reality. If you have friends or family, or you have a therapist who really gets narcissistic abuse, it is so valuable to talk through these situations with them so they can affirm your reality, so they can validate your feelings and what you're experiencing and help you see yourself as a reliable person. And that is the case when you're depressed or you're anxious or you're neurodivergent or you're ill. All of those things affect you profoundly, but they do not make you an unreliable person. And they don't make it so that you don't know truth from fiction. Having other people around you to acknowledge and validate where you're coming from can really help you stay calm and steady in the face of gaslighting and continue to trust yourself. Number 5, if you've been the victim of persistent gaslighting over time in a key relationship, it's quite likely that you've come to doubt yourself. You may have come to doubt your own ability to see situations clearly or to make good decisions. Something you can do is to really start to build up your confidence in that. Start with small things. You might find it really helpful to focus on your own experiences and your own autonomy. Something I often suggest to people in this situation is to really give themselves the chance to have new experiences, to try new things, try new hobbies, try new foods, try new activities, meet new people, and pay attention to your feelings. Pay attention to what you enjoy. Pay attention to what you dislike. Pay attention to what surprises you. And allow yourself to just have those experiences, talk about those experiences, maybe write down those experiences, and start to see yourself as someone who's able to perceive and make sense of the world around you. And if you're someone who tends to not want to make a decision about things because you don't trust yourself, start small and build up. Start making small decisions for yourself without asking other people's opinions. I've often found that people who are victims of gaslighting, particularly over a long period of time, really struggle to trust their own judgment, and they'll start asking other people for opinions. And there's nothing wrong with asking trusted people for opinions and to draw on advice from other people. You know, none of us are experts in everything, so getting expert advice is really important. But you are able to make decisions for yourself, and start with small things like picking clothes for yourself, choosing the activities you do. Make a decision to go on a trip or do something or try something new without asking anyone's opinion. And start to see how those decisions go and build your confidence in those things. And hopefully that will help set you up when you have to make big decisions about finances or your career or your future relationships. The most important thing after gaslighting is to build your confidence in yourself as a reliable, trustworthy person who can make good decisions for yourself. I would love to hear your experiences. So if you've been through gaslighting, leave a comment about what your experience was like and what strategies you found helpful. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you'd like to hear more about narcissism, narcissistic relationships, and recovery after narcissistic abuse. I look forward to seeing you next time. And in the meantime, take good care.